Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Revisionists. I'm Ben.
I'm dead.
I thought your name was Adam, or is it Alex, or
I don't know, you tell me.
I shall call you Ty.
I'm Ty. Wait, and I, Ty.
This is the podcast where we break down movies that we think could be made better and make them better by rewriting the movies ourselves and show you what could have been. Today's movie is
Frankenstein.
Let's start with a plot synopsis. Ty, do you want to describe the movie?
Frankenstein's creature finds himself caught in an all-out, centuries-old war between two immortal clans.
What's your history with this movie, Ty?
Well, be me, like a week ago.
Mm-hmm.
We finished recording Indiana Jones.
Right.
I'm thinking to myself, what would be cool to watch for our October episodes? And I'm a big Halloween fan. I love monster movies.
Right.
And I heard rumors that I, Frankenstein, and Dracula Untold were supposed to be kind of a shared cinematic universe of bullcrap.
Really?
I thought, wouldn't it be funny if we watched these for Halloween? It wasn't. I feel like Dr. Frankenstein, and this is the monster I unleashed upon us.
Yeah, well, so you had never seen the movie before?
No.
Alright, my history of this movie is almost nothing. I saw posters for it, and I thought it was a movie, like a futuristic Frankenstein movie. I thought it took place in the future, and like they turned everyone into Frankensteins and they're robots and things. Boy, was I wrong!
That would have been so much better.
Yeah, so this was not the movie I was expecting it to be. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about the actors. Let's start with Aaron Eckhart, who plays... Who in this is titled as Adam.
I want to issue a public apology to Aaron Eckhart for me failing to remember your name last episode. I apologize. I did not mean that horrid disrespect.
Yeah. So how do you think he did this time around on?
Aaron Eckhart's a great actor.
Yeah.
Not in this movie.
See. The thing is, I don't think he was a bad actor in this movie. I think he did.
Well, you think he was good then?
I thought he was all right. Like
really.
Do you want to explain why you disagree with me?
Yeah, let me be Frankenstein. I'm Frankenstein. You are gargoyles. I'm Frankenstein.
So you're saying he had a bad voice?
No, he could have been. What I mean is, like, he could have been played by anyone.
Even Emilio Estevez?
Yes. He was just a poor character.
Yeah. All right. Well, but the character has nothing to do with him.
Well, okay. Why don't you give me some adjectives to describe maybe his personality?
Stoic. Sexy.
He was just no fun to watch for me.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of. We just finished watching this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be difficult to talk about.
All right, moving on. How about Yvonne Strahovski?
No, let's skip her. Let's get to the next person.
Wait, what? Why are you skipping her?
Because there are only two people who mattered in this movie.
Uh-huh.
Everyone else can be painted with the same brush.
You saying she was just as bad as
she was worse. she might as well have been a background element. She might as well have been like a prop, a part of the set.
Yeah, but what about her from Chuck? She was on Chuck.
I never watched Chuck.
Yeah, but she played the Chuck. Was
she
good.
a main character?
Yeah, she was. All right. She was the spy who watched over Chuck.
Okay, I guess I'm disrespecting all you Chuck fans.
Yeah, you're huge disrespect.
All you people who love Chuck out there.
When they were gonna cancel the show.
Did you sign a petition?
Even better. I think it was like they were gonna cancel it around season 2. I think maybe season 3. But there was like a thing where you would, if you went to Subway, because Subway was their sponsor, and there was this one character who was always talking about Subway and eating a Subway sandwich. Anyways, the Subway was their sponsor, so the thing was right in the suggestion box to save Chuck, and so I did that, and they didn't cancel Chuck. So I think
it's you did it.
Yeah. Also, I saw her once at an awards ceremony.
So. Since you're the big Chuck aficionado, you stay up all night editing the Chuck wiki.
Yeah.
What'd you think of Yvonne Strahovski?
I thought she was beautiful.
Oh.
I'm not going to talk about her acting, though.
If you don't have anything nice to say.
No, to be honest, I don't think she was that bad. I've seen way worse, and like, you know, she's just like she's an actress. She's just an actress in a shitty movie.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. All right. So
now we're on to the next person who matters. Bill Nighy as Nefarious.
Nefarious, you might say.
So what do you think of Bill Nighy?
He's fucking incredible.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I'm gonna make a bold statement, an earth-shattering statement right now. He's like, I know he's only been in one of our movies, but he's on his way to patron saint status. He's gonna be like, he's amazing. Like, he always appears in these shitty movies, but he's never bad.
Look, Bill Nighy
Yeah.
was acting at like 5% in this movie.
Yeah.
But he was still outclassing everyone put together.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he was like very like it was undertone for him, but like his undertone is him like reciting Shakespeare, like out of a dictionary.
I'm glad we both agree.
Bill Nye is amazing.
Yeah.
Of course. Also, is it in his contract that he has to appear as like a stupid CG monster from now on?
He has to be a creature.
Well,
he has to be
all right, because think about it, because
he played Dr. Octopus in Pirates.
Yeah, he was Octopus Man in Pirates. So one
Dr. Octopus.
Yeah,
Man. You don't want to anger the fans.
Then he was Sean's dad in Shaun of the Dead. At one point he turned into a zombie.
Yeah.
Remember? And then in this movie he turns into a demon.
And in Love Actually, he might as well have been dead because he had to write that horrible Christmas song. Let's talk about the movie.
Yeah, so Frankenstein. This before we get to the movie, we start with 5 billion logos of all the companies that produced this movie.
I just want to say this is gonna be a really hard movie to talk about.
Why's that?
I could just feel it.
You can feel
like
it.
We watched this 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
We finished this movie 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And it broke me. I'm just so done.
What do you have to say about this movie, Ty?
Much like Victor Frankenstein died in pursuit of his monster, I died trying to make this movie interesting to me.
Listen, I can sum up this movie with one word.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Want to know what I wrote for my title?
What?
Frankenstein? I'd rather not.
Good one, Ty.
Thanks. Let me just pat myself on the back.
So we open up with the CG mountains.
It's a lot like the ice levels in Spyro.
Oh my god. I haven't thought about that in forever. They clearly could have filmed like real mountains, right? Those were definitely CG mountains.
Yeah. And the mountains would have looked beautiful if you filmed them like in real.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I mean, maybe this movie had low budget.
A low budget?
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be easier to film mountains then?
I don't know. I don't know what that quality CG, the cost of that would be compared to actually going and shooting in like Europe.
Pretty sure like they could have just bought stock footage and it would have been cheaper.
Yeah, you're right. They have no excuse.
They literally have no excuse. So yeah, so the CG mountains, and we get this whole
We get a last time on Frankenstein montage.
yeah, last time on Frankenstein.
Where it loosely recounts aspects of the book, not exactly as they are in the book.
Yeah. So would you say it's mostly based off of the book then? It has nothing...
It's more based off the book than the Boris Karloff movies or any other source.
My history with Frankenstein as a whole is I've seen The Bride of Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein, and like a couple pages of the book. So I'm not well versed.
I'm a Frankenstein expert. I read the book and I've seen all the Universal movies. Mm-hmm. And I've seen a few of the non-Universal movies, like some of the Hammer movies. The one with Robert De Niro as the monster.
Yes, but Ty, have you seen I, Frankenstein though?
I have now.
We get a brief recap, and then like he's like has some narration where he talks about how he killed the monster, killed Frankenstein.
No.
What?
He didn't kill Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein froze to death.
Yeah, he froze to death.
And he killed his wife.
And he killed his wife.
Did he kill his wife in the book?
Yeah, he killed lots of people.
Oh wow. But evidently he only killed those two people according to this movie.
Yeah.
All right. So then he's going to a cemetery
to bury him, along with this book that turned out to be important later.
Yeah. In fact, why was he burying the book?
Why didn't he read it right there?
This is true.
Because later on in the movie, he gets the book back and he's like, "Oh, this is so important.
This is my life."
And he's just gonna throw it away with a dead body.
And then the most famous quote from this movie, he's almost done burying the body, and he's like, "I thought this was the end, but it turns out it was just the beginning.
It was just the beginning of this movie.
The beginning of this movie.
This is what Mary Shelley intended."
The these CG demon goblins show up.
I write here, Gothic horror is dead. When's the last time you've seen a Gothic horror movie?
Bride of Frankenstein?
That was almost 100 years ago.
And he's also... Alright, so the CG goblins and stuff show up, and then like we get our first glimpse of
the horror that is to come.
Of Aaron Eckhart as Frankenstein's monster.
He's a good-looking guy.
Yeah, dude. Like, they can't even put like scars all over his face and make him ugly. He's still like super attractive.
I don't get it. Was like, he's supposed to be a horrific monster.
He is.
He's supposed to be ugly.
Also, he's just normal size. Like, he's like the size of just a normal human person.
He's like 6 foot even.
Yeah, probably. But like you were saying that you think like Frankenstein should be
like 7 or 8 feet tall.
Yeah, like a gigantic monster man, and he's like, rah.
It's just weird that like, okay, we've had a long time of sexy monsters. We've had sexy vampires.
Yeah.
Now we're getting a sexy Frankenstein.
Yeah.
It's just weird that this is the age that we live in.
Yeah. It's really, I mean, it's really lame, to be honest. It could have been really, really cool to have like a brutal, gritty like Frankenstein monster.
Exactly. Frankenstein, the monster living until modern age.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's
that was so
idea.
cool. I think you start to gloss over something that's really important. Okay, so we're going to go see a movie called I, Frankenstein. We go in, Frankenstein, last time on Frankenstein, Frankenstein, I, Frankenstein, Adam, I, Frankenstein. That's his full name, Adam, I, Frankenstein. He's there, he's burying his creator. And then, like, Constantine demons pop up and gargoyles that turn into people. What's happening? When has anything like this ever happened in a Frankenstein movie? Okay, so we walk into a Frankenstein movie, and the part that we're coming in is the end of a Frankenstein movie, and Frankenstein happens to like walk into another movie about gargoyles fighting demons for the end of the world?
Yeah, this is absolutely true. Like, this is not a Frankenstein movie.
What? What?
Another reason why I thought this took place in the future was because it's called I, Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's an evocative of technology.
Yeah, I thought they were referencing like iPhones and
exactly
and iPads and stuff like that. He fights these CG goblin demon oogie boogies
and gargoyles.
Well, no, he doesn't fight the gargoyles,
but they show up.
Yeah, the gargoyles like see this and like he's like, whoa, Oh, good work.
And those gargoyles must think Frankenstein's really cool because they're really keen on hanging out with him.
Yeah.
They take him to their Castlevania 64 tower. Can we talk about this tower for a second?
Yeah.
If this thing existed, it would be the greatest architectural marvel of the century.
This is absolutely 100%.
Do you realize like a Gothic European building of this scale?
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. Everyone would know what it is.
Yeah.
Everyone would know what it's called. Everyone would know where it is. It's a horrible place to hide your gargoyle army. Also, want to clarify something else. We're going to say Frankenstein to refer to I, Frankenstein through this movie because he's Frankenstein's son.
Right.
Thus, they share the last name.
Right, okay.
So shut up, you book nerds.
Yeah. They show up, they're like, oh man, you really killed those guys real good. Also, you're beautiful. Come with us.
Frankenstein's just so cool and sexy. We're going to take him to our castle.
Yeah.
Talk to him about this demon war he doesn't care about.
And then we get the most confusing like description of this war that is apparently going on that we've not seen yet.
Do you care to elaborate?
I mean, they didn't.
Yeah, they just start telling Frankenstein all this shit. And he's like, what? Who? Okay, I don't care.
That was very Keanu Reeves of you. That was like Keanu Reeves-esque.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
All these guys know who Frankenstein is.
Yeah.
How do they know?
Like, didn't all this shit like happen like within 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. Like it's essentially a few weeks past the end of the book.
But you do have a good point. So they never explain how everyone just knows.
Yeah, all the gargoyles just know who
Yeah.
he is, and they name him.
Yeah.
Your name is now Adam. So, Adam, as I was saying...
They name him Adam and then just immediately start calling him.
They don't ask him if it's okay, or like...
He never gives his permission, and then like he just kind of accepts it, and then later on in the movie she calls him Jeff, and he's like, I thought you called me Adam.
We'll get to that in a minute. So they're essentially like debating what to do with him? Is that what it is? They're
like she tried like the main gargoyle.
The Gargoyle Queen.
Yeah, the Gargoyle Queen is offering him to. Is like, hey, you want to fight our war with us?
Because the demons want him for some reason, right?
Yes. Well, they like the plan that they describe at the end of the movie has been going on since that point.
The demons want to find him, and the gargoyles are like, "You want to join our gargoyle army?" But then didn't they have like problems with it at first? Like, weren't they like, "Oh, this guy's killed people before"?
Yeah, well, no. Her most trusted allies are like, hey, this guy literally murdered people. I don't think we should let him be part of our clan. And she's like, yes, but he didn't know any better, so let's give him some weapons.
Here's another part of the movie that I think is a theme.
Uh-huh.
Everyone's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, literally everyone in this movie's so stupid.
Yeah.
They find a mysterious creature
Yeah.
in the forest and like, let's show him where our secret headquarters is. No, let's arm him. This known murderer. Let's just arm him. Let's just give him whatever weapon he wants.
And like he's like picking out weapons, and he was like, "Why would you pick that one? That one's like just a blunt object to like bludgeon people with."
He picks some sticks.
He picks up sticks so that he can bludgeon people to death with them. And he's like, whatever you do, don't just murder random people.
And they just let him leave.
Even though you're completely known for doing that. Bye!
Let's just arm this literal monster. Just this literal, actual monster.
Yeah. Also, like, why did they live in the Middle Ages? I thought this was like gothic horror, like, what's it, like 1800s?
I think that's what it's meant to be, but like these gargoyles are supposed to be kind of...
Oh, because they've
angelic.
I guess they've been around for like thousands of years. Yeah. So, because the gargoyles do not at all like bend their style to the times.
They don't change at all.
Yeah, we go to the future, and all like the demons or whatever are well dressed. They look all normal, and then in the gargoyle castle, they're all dressed exactly the same as they were like 300 years ago.
So Frankenstein goes to Frankenstein in the forest for a while. You know, because he's a loner, he doesn't care about humans. You know, that's according to the character.
Yeah.
But like we get a little montage where we see him like Highlandering.
Yeah.
That's what I call it. It's just he's just standing on like a rock formation, like twirling his things around, but he doesn't have a Sean Connery to train him. So we're just left to believe he's Highlandering for the next 200 years.
Yeah. Didn't talk to anybody.
Just gonna twirl my sticks around.
Yeah, exactly. So he He was off in the mountains somewhere for hundreds of years.
Training.
Training for what?
I think he was just bored. I think he was just like, it would be totally cool if I knew how to use these nunchucks.
He does that. He gets a haircut, and then he goes back to the city. Why does he go to the city?
Because during the montage, he was like, I was waiting for the demons to come and find me because I knew that they would. It took them about 200 years, but they eventually did. So the demons finally found him in whatever remote part of the world he was after like 200 years. He's like, all these push-ups are finally going to pay off. And he fights him and he's all like, well, now it's time to go find the main demon guy who sent these demons after me.
Yeah, well, he's attacked in the city, and
no, he was attacked before that.
Well, he was
in the forest.
In the forest?
Yeah. Then he went to the city.
But they just did such a brief montage of that. I didn't even know that he was attacked in the woods.
Well, I was paying attention.
I was paying attention.
No, you weren't.
Yeah, I was. I was paying more attention than you.
Towards the end. If you were to chart my attentiveness to this movie on a graph, on like a time graph,
yeah,
it would just start and it would just go straight down.
Then he gets into a fight. He snaps a cop's neck.
He does not snap a cop's neck.
No, he snaps 8.
How dare you?
He snaps 8 cops' necks.
How dare you defile the name of Adam I. Frankenstein?
How dare you insult the name of Alexander A. Frankenstein?
Oh no, this is so bad.
What?
Want to know what I wrote down for this part?
What?
The postmodern Prometheus.
Oh no. No.
Yeah, I should have wrote this movie. Stay tuned.
Alright, so the demon snaps the cop's neck.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he snapped the neck. Frankenstein did it.
No, the demon did.
He might as well have. He watched and did nothing.
Remember what he said later on?
What?
Where the girl was like, so have you killed anybody? Well, yeah, I killed Frankenstein's wife, but since then, only demons.
And a cop.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, he didn't say that because she didn't want him to know that he's a cop murderer. Anyway, sorry. So the demon snaps the cop's neck, and like the demon runs away, right?
Yeah.
And he chases after him with like this like little funny like cartoon dance run.
Well, his elbows are really high up.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of like.
Yeah, exactly. It's a weird run. I don't know if that's him or the direction. We cut to this weird rat experiment that is going on where they're trying to bring this rat back to life. They perform the experiment and they bring the rat back to life.
Yeah.
And then we get our first glimpse of the greatness that is Bill Nye.
I mean, that could be cool for a Frankenstein movie. Frankenstein's immortal. He lives until modern day.
Uh-huh.
People are trying to bring the dead back to life. Oh no!
Yeah.
It's like science gone wrong.
Yeah.
Again, in the age of science.
Yeah, so why did he have to be a demon?
Well, why anything in this movie?
Yeah. Because I think that would have been a perfectly interesting movie of, like, someone trying to, like, find, like, you know, a way to bring people back to life and shit and use them as an army.
Yeah.
That isn't a demon.
Yeah. No gargoyles either.
I think Frankenstein, yes. Demons, maybe. No gargoyles.
Gargoyles will never be the same for me after this movie.
Alright, so they bring the rat back to life, and then we see Bill Nye, and he's like, do it.
Yeah, he's like, well, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool you brought the rat back to life. But does it have a soul? That's my Bill Nye impression.
He wants the rat to have a soul?
Yeah, he's like, okay, you reanimated it, or you're getting close to reanimating it, but I need it to have a soul.
Wait, I thought he didn't want it to have a soul. Isn't the only way that the demons could possess people is if they don't have souls?
Yeah, actually. Never mind, this movie's confusing. He's trying to bring the dead back to life, and this lady isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
And he's like, would it help if I got the real Frankenstein for you to study? Would it help if I got the real Bigfoot for you to study for my, my 8-man experiments?
She was like, humans... Like, all right, so he's like, he's trying to rush this project along because he's ready to take over the world. with this plan that has not been explained to us yet. And then she's like, I can't do it. Humans are the most complex beings in the universe.
You don't know that.
No, evidently she knows for certain that they're the most complex being in the entire universe.
Because she's the greatest scientist in the universe.
Only she can understand.
This is the worst movie in the universe.
And then Bill Nye is brought into a meeting with the demon who got into the fist fight with Frankenstein, right? And he's like, I wounded him. I think I wounded him. Like, he's like really adamant that he.
But it's the timing and the editing.
Yeah.
Like, that was supposed to be a joke.
Oh yeah. Also, evidently, Frankenstein. The story of Frankenstein is canon in this movie. As in, like, do you think that it was released as a book?
No.
Why not?
I think it's like an urban legend because she's like, oh, Frankenstein, that's just a myth.
Yeah, and then he's like, if Frankenstein was real, would you?
If I could get you Frankenstein here, if I could get my agent to get Frankenstein, would you want to talk to him?
Would it help you if I got the actual Count Chocula here?
for my chocolate cereal experiments, would it help you if I got you the actual Count Chocula? Look, if it would help your giant ape-man experiments, would it help you if I got the real Bigfoot here for you to study?
Do you need the real Bigfoot?
Do you need? I can get him for you.
Can you not make a fake Bigfoot for me without the real one?
Like, what kind of question is this man leveling at her? It's like, it's a mythical thing.
Yeah.
Would it help you if I got the real Santa Claus here for you? But like, he's saying it to her as if it would entice her. She's like, oh yes, definitely. But she doesn't know he's real.
Yeah, no, she's like, she immediately questions it. It's like, it's made up as shit. It's like, would it help you if I got the real one? And she's like, no, because he's still made up. But what if he's real, though?
Why has she been helping him this long?
I don't know.
Like, he's obviously evil.
Well, I don't know. He's a little bit charming. But, like, the thing is, one, he's paying her.
Everyone around him is obviously evil.
Yeah. But he's paying her, though. And she wants to... She's the greatest scientist in the universe.
In the universe.
Yeah, and she... I guess she only does research about reanimating corpses. And she's like, he's the only one who would fund my research.
Do you think that's what it is? Like, he needed someone to bring bodies back for him.
Yeah.
And he just happened to find this lady scientist who wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah.
What I thought it was that... Like, he contracted a scientist in secret to perform secret experiments.
I get the feeling like she was really interested in doing that, though. Because she's always like... Because I think one of the reasons why she was like, later on, she was like, I'm the only scientist who can do this.
I'm the only one in the universe.
No, if she was just contracted to do it, like, she'd go back home and, like, start, like, you know... playing video games and doing other things.
You're right. She was pretty invested.
So I feel like she was like, I want to bring dead bodies back to life. And he's like, how funny. I want to give people money for bringing dead bodies back to life.
Happy little coincidence. Good point.
Let me give you money. What seems weird to me, though, is that he's definitely, like, at least, like, several hundred years old, right?
I would say he's older.
Yeah, like, older.
He's probably like thousands of years old.
So why doesn't he like know anything about science or do any of that shit by himself? Like, did he, like, in the 200 years that it took him to find this 25-year-old scientist woman, like, he could have done way more. Like, all he did was collect the bodies.
No, he's lazy. He doesn't read a book. I'll just find someone who knows how.
Yeah, no, he doesn't even read the Frankenstein book. He just wants it to give it to someone else. Like, they hand it to him, and
it's a short read. He could have knocked it out in a minute.
Yeah, because evidently everyone else can read at the speed of light in this movie.
This is all in one night.
Yeah.
It's all in one night.
Pretty much.
This is like a week-long night.
I think it's 2 nights because it's the first night is all like the first experiment where they bring the brat to life, right? Then they do all the other bullshit, the bullshit. It comes day for a little bit and then goes back to being night again.
I don't support your theory, but I think it takes place in the North Pole.
There was a little bit of daytime. I saw it happen.
You saw it?
I saw it happen. Saw a little putty cat.
So the next scene's Frankenstein meets the gargoyles again, and they all remember each other perfectly.
Yeah.
It's been 200 years, and everyone's all like, "Oh yeah, I remember you."
Yeah. Well,
the queen is never like, "Oh yes, Toby Frankenstein."
it was like, no, you called me Adam.
That's right, Alexis Frankenstein.
Wait, there are other names other than Adam and Frankenstein?
Also, Frankenstein's doing good in the modern day.
Yeah.
He has a great haircut.
Well, it helps when there are no humans around to do anything.
He's never, like, surprised, like, "Oh, it's a car.
Yeah.
What's an elevator?"
What? Yeah, he does not deal with any of, like, the trauma a normal person dealing with stuff that they've never seen before. I mean, here's my biggest problem with the entire movie. He is never once afraid of fire. There's never...
Yeah, you're right. There's all sorts of fire in this movie, and he's never like, fire.
He's never like, fire, burn! I wanted one, like, Frankenstein to freak out where he, like, smashed through a wall. And he was like, no! And then, so yeah, they bring him in, and they're like, we're mad you killed people, even though we armed you and you did this you completely murdered people in cold blood before we took you in and gave you weapons.
It isn't really clearly defined why they're upset with him.
Yeah.
Because they get progressively more and more upset with him throughout the movie, and it isn't really set up why.
Yeah. In fact, I'm never really clear on what their motives are, or what the demons' motives are.
What's Frankenstein's motive to help these gargoyles?
Well, he doesn't ever seem to want to help them. He just ends up helping them by accident. I don't even know what his life goals are.
No, we don't have any idea of what Frankenstein wants in life.
Yeah, like, later on, it's brought up that I guess he wanted more people like him, maybe, but he doesn't now.
Well, he's not even trying to go about making more.
Yeah.
Like, if he's lonely, he could try to make more, since he knows that's possible.
But he doesn't.
No, because that would have been a good movie.
So then we get the most famous speech of all time.
Do we?
Yeah. He turns dramatically to them and goes like, "I'm not a human, nor am I a gargoyle,
Or a demon.
or Bigfoot,
Or a watermelon.
or Count Chocula,
Or a squirrel.
or a beet,
Or an Xbox.
or a turnip."
Or a glass of water.
Here's another question.
Yeah.
Why are they not gargoyles just all the time?
Yeah,
Why do
because
they-
they turn into people.
Yeah. Well, like, the thing is, all right, turning into people, fine if they're like blending in with people on the outside.
Which they're not.
Which-
There are hardly any humans in this movie.
They don't ever go outside. So why are they just humans in their off time?
Look, they're like, yeah, they're in their off time. They're like hanging out, chilling.
Yeah.
Look, they don't need to eat.
Yeah.
They don't need to sleep.
Yeah.
They should just gargoyle all the time, 24/7.
Yeah. And also, God created, in this movie, God created like a much superior
No, this
race.
is scripture.
This is scripture.
It's in the Bible. The Gargoyle Wars.
The Gargoyle Wars. So he created a clearly superior race of beings. Why isn't everyone just a gargoyle?
Yeah, why aren't humans gargoyles?
Why aren't we gargoyles?
Why are there demons?
Yeah, why are there demons?
Why doesn't God just send his angels down to fight the gargoyles?
Why doesn't God create a rock that he can't move?
This movie's really hard to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it has no internal logic.
Yeah.
Things happen for no reason. Like in the next scene, demons just start attacking
Yeah,
the
head
gargoyle
on.
citadel. They just start running at it with no strategy.
Yeah.
Out in the open. Aren't people gonna see this? Aren't they trying to keep this secret?
Did you ever see a single person on the street other than in that one sequence?
That's why they
where
live
it's walking?
in Antarctica.
Yeah, but like, were the people only outside just during the day that one day, and they're like, "Oh, time to go back inside for the whole summer. Bye." Have fun with that demon war or whatever that we totally don't know, but I think everyone knows. They just don't want to talk about it. They're like, it's a completely secret war that the people don't
They're
know
like,
about.
oh, this war is just, the plot's so bad. Let's just ignore it. Pretend it's not happening. Can we talk about this character's axe?
His axe?
Yeah.
The
An axe to grind.
the gargoyle or
The gargoyle.
or Frank? Oh yeah. Go
This
ahead.
gargoyle pulls out like a spear and he sticks it in the ground.
Yeah.
Then he takes out two other parts, like two blades, and he connects them to the spear, and now it's an axe.
Yeah, I wrote IKEA weapon.
Yeah, I wrote like a travel axe, like it folds up for packing away.
Yeah. No, he went to IKEA, and he bought an axe that you have to assemble every time you want to use it.
That's why it falls apart later in the movie. It's an
fall
IKEA
apart?
axe, yeah.
Oh shit.
Or Frankenstein took it apart or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, something like that. All right, so then there's this battle, and like they're all like the demons have this insanely stupid plan of running head on the gargoyle fortress. And
But the thing is, their plan works.
yeah, their plan works.
Because what their plan was to distract all the gargoyles so they could sneak in and kill the gargoyle leader.
Yeah.
And it works because everyone in this movie's an idiot.
No, they to sneak in and capture her. They don't kill her.
Oh yeah, they capture her.
Yeah. So they're just like, all right, let's. Well, I mean, maybe the gargoyles were just confused because they weren't expecting a plan that stupid.
And it works. They totally capture her. They're like, is anyone looking after our leader? What?
What? No? Shit!
And also, how is one demon able to capture her?
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
in this demon battle, like, one gargoyle takes out like 10 demons.
Yeah.
The demons aren't very powerful.
Yeah.
And you think the head gargoyle would be the most powerful.
Yeah. But she's evidently not. We never see her fight anyone.
No. Your name is Toby, and your name's Alexis, and your name's
She
Ollivander.
just goes around naming people and then telling them not to kill people.
We know you're a murderer, so please take your pick of our weapons.
She's like, I think she thinks she's God. She's like, I'm going to name people and then tell them not to kill. That's what God does, right? Let's go.
With her kidnapped,
Yeah.
this next guy is left in charge, Channing Tatum.
Yeah. Well, by the way, they find out. So they find out where the gargoyles took her by Frankenstein. He captures this one goblin and like he holds it over holy water. It's like, tell me where she is. Why would he tell him? Because in all honesty, if I was a demon and my face is over holy water, I know they're gonna kill me.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way I'm getting out of this. Even if I do tell him, he's not gonna let me go. And he tells him, and then he dunks his face in the holy water. Why was he surprised?
Yeah, and then the demon turns to fire.
Yeah.
And Frankenstein isn't like, oh, no, fire! Wait, well, one thing I want to mention.
Yeah.
We just described a lot of plot.
Yeah.
We just described a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
And none of it's because of actions of Frankenstein.
Yeah. Frankenstein is almost a non-entity in this movie.
He could not be in this movie, and it would almost go the exact same way.
They want the book for the reason that they hadn't explained it yet, but they do explain it at the end of the movie.
In my note, I say, why does F. Stein care? At this point, I just start referring to him as F. Stein. Because I don't want to keep writing up Frankenstein.
And Frankenstein finds a scary room with all the bodies in it.
What happened?
He finds the...
That happens already?
Yeah, that's my next note. Like, because he...
What about the key axe?
The key axe?
Yeah, the guy takes his axe apart again, and he uses it as a key to open something.
Oh my god, right.
To get the book.
I didn't bother writing that down because
the demons want Frankenstein's journal so they could learn how to reanimate bodies. And they want to trade the Gargoyle Queen for the journal.
Right.
Then they go to the theater to do the thing.
Yeah.
And then they do, and that makes them even more stupid.
Yeah.
Because they could have easily, like, crashed in with a bunch of gargoyles and saved their queen.
Yeah.
Because there was just one guy there.
Yeah.
Just one demon holding the gargoyle queen.
Well, but remember, that guy is like, we can't let them take her. She's the only one who can talk to God.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, I could talk to God. All you have to do is pray.
But she's the only one who can talk to God.
That doesn't make any sense. If God makes, like, this race of, like, super cool gargoyle dudes, wouldn't he talk to all of them? Isn't this his war that they're waging?
Pretty much.
This is his war, so wouldn't he want to, like, talk to his soldiers and officers to wage the war effectively?
No, he just wants to talk to one of them.
So even if he does just want to talk to one of them, if one of them dies, he's just gonna cease communication with all of them?
I guess so.
That's not how you run an effective war.
So they trade the book for the Gargoyle Queen, and then
yeah, and then Dr. Octopus, Davy Jones.
He's like, I won! I did it!
He does a little jig.
And then the movie's over.
The movie's over. Then we applaud. It's a great ending.
I mean, to be honest, if the movie had actually ended that way, I would have given this movie 5 stars.
With Bill Nighy winning?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been awesome.
I kind of wanted him to win.
He's the most likable character.
He actually has feelings.
He wants something. We know what he wants.
Yeah. Well,
he very clearly wants something.
Well, he clearly wants something. We're not sure of what that is yet. And then we find that out at the end of the movie, and then we're like, oh, that's what you wanted.
He has clearly defined goals.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Epstein, does not.
Yeah. Well, also, like, the movie opens with Frankenstein committing, like, murders of just normal people, so you're already, like, kind of not on his side.
No, I'm on his side.
You're on his side because you like the Frankenstein series. Like,
he's
just
awesome.
Think about you being, like, a normal movie viewer. Like, going to the movies, it's like, oh, we're gonna see this Frankenstein movie. I wonder if...
No, it's okay. He hasn't committed a murder in the past 200 years. Just demons.
No,
just demons.
But at the beginning of the movie, it happened like 10 minutes ago.
Also, Epstein has like a weird, like, emotional connection with all these gargoyles.
Yeah,
He's only been around him for like 10 minutes 200 years ago.
Are we really sticking with that? Are we gonna call him Epstein?
Yeah, Epstein. The rest of the movie we're calling him Epstein. At least I am.
Okay. Yeah, no, he has an odd connection with these people that he has spent very little time with.
Like during that fight scene, one of them's dying. He's like, oh no, so and so. Even though I've only spoken to you for like 2 minutes, are you gonna be okay?
It's like, no. Well, he's like, I can try and help you fix it, and she's like, no, we're not allowed to. It's like, why not? Because we're not. Bye. And then she ascends like all the gargoyles do, and like you see their spirit or whatever float up to heaven.
Yeah.
How is no one seeing this? There's thunderstorms, fire blazes, and then literal ascensions happening around this very giant, clearly home base for all these gargoyles. Like, you can see this like probably from miles away. So then Frankenstein is like, I'm gonna go investigate. And then he finds a weird scare room with all of these No, they're not Frankensteins yet.
Not yet.
They're not yet, but they're gonna be, because guess what? It's all room full of dead people.
Not even just dead people. It's like a 10-mile deep chasm filled with like a conveyor belt rack of hundreds of thousands of corpses.
Yeah, and like, if the first thing I thought when I saw that was I was like, are they draining them for blood like in that one vampire movie? You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but evidently that was not the case.
It was definitely not the case.
So Bill Nye brings the journal of Dr. Frankenstein to Yvonne, whatever her real
to
name.
lady. I wrote down Blondie.
Wrote down Blondie?
Yeah, Blondie.
All right, so he brings the journal to Blondie, and she starts reading it, and she's like, "Oh, you add more electricity, and then it makes them alive."
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, he used like a lot of electricity. Okay, it's not as much as we were using. You gotta use like a lot."
Yeah, I mean, I guess the ratio that we were using was good for a rat. Maybe we need to use more for a person. So then, evidently, Dr. Frankenstein was a really good artist, because like she looks in the book and there's a drawing of Aaron Eckhart's face.
Sketch.
Yeah, it's a beautiful sketch, and she's like, "Oh my God, look at those eyes."
He's a hottie.
And then Frankenstein decides not to use a door and jumps through a window.
Yeah, I don't think they had doors when he was alive.
Clearly not.
Because he punches or kicks every door he sees.
Yeah, he almost never uses a door normally.
He jumps through the ceiling window.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's like, "Hey, baby, you want to see the real thing? Right here."
and then he's like, "I'm taking this book back," and then he jumps out another window.
This town's running out of windows.
Yeah. Although, and you know what's funny? To be fair, Bill Nighy shows up and he's like, "You could have just knocked on the door. I would have let you in."
He probably would have.
He
probably wants Frankenstein as an ally.
Yeah, well, he clearly wanted him as an ally at that point. He was just like, "Hey, just let us examine you, and we'll make more things of you."
Yeah, that's beneficial.
Yeah, and Frankenstein's like, no, because I have a weird, mysterious connection with these gargoyles for no reason.
Because good is good and bad is bad.
And
Because you're bad and I'm good. He starts reading this journal. He knocks it out pretty fast. It's a quick read.
He reads it on one subway ride.
I wish I could read books like him.
Right? I mean, like, he has been around for 200 years. Maybe he just, like, he developed super reading abilities even though he had no books to read.
Well, in the book, to cite the book, he's a pretty good reader. He read tons of classic literature. But he reads the book.
Right.
And he's like, it cuts to all these flashbacks and it's like he's remembering or realizing something.
Yeah.
What's he realizing?
I don't know, because he clearly remembered everything at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, I always got the impression that he fully understood, like, his origins and what he was and, like, what the process was that brought him into life.
Yeah, no,
Like, I never understood that, like, that he had this mystery about his origins.
Well, as we all know, Frankenstein does not have an idea of object permanence.
Yeah.
So I guess he thought it wasn't. It all disappeared after he stopped looking at it.
What made us think of that?
because you know, she was like, I'm the only doctor in the universe, and he's like, she must be the only doctor in the universe.
Yeah, she doesn't have a concept of object permanence.
Neither does Frankenstein.
Because she's like, here I am on the only train in the universe. Here we are on the only bed in the universe. We must be the only two people in the universe right now because I don't see any others.
Yeah, and then Frankenstein leaves and she's like, oh no, I guess he doesn't exist anymore.
Guess I'm the only person in the universe.
And then he comes back and is like, I guess I'm not the only person in the universe.
Yeah, Epstein follows her.
Epstein follows her. And then evidently she's the only one who can understand the book that he has. And
in the universe.
And, like, Frankenstein's like, I want answers.
Even though I just read this book.
Even though I just read this book and, like, somehow know things.
She reads it in one sitting.
Yeah. And then we get the best line in the movie. This is, like, he's explaining this demon gargoyle lore.
Yeah.
Completely out of context to her. And she's like, I don't believe you. And he's like, no, you've got to believe me, baby. And she's like, I really don't. And then she says, demons aren't real. And then a demon literally appears, and she's like, oh, shit. And then he fights a demon, and she has no sense of object permanence, so she thought he was gone forever. And then he came back, and he became an eagle.
No, that's not happening. That's not happening in this episode.
No, Ty, he became an eagle.
I, Franken Eagle.
I eagle. Then she has this really stupid idea where, like, she's like, the only thing you care about is yourself. So I'm gonna go and meet up with the scientist, even though it's clearly a trap. And you go and talk to the gargoyles, which is clearly not a trap. Bye!
Is that what his sort of conflict's supposed to be? That he's selfish?
That's what it's supposed to be. It doesn't seem that way.
It doesn't show in any way in his actions.
Yeah, because he's always doing stuff to help the gargoyles.
Yeah, at the point where she leaves and she goes back to Bill Nighy.
Yeah.
That's the point where I'm like, how does she not know she's surrounded by evil people? Like this is the point where he's like, oh yes, so now you can bring back a real guy from the dead. And all these demon men in black, Agent Smiths show up and she should be... That should be raising all sorts of alarms for her. But she's the dumbest person in the universe.
It does raise a lot of questions for her, though. Because then they're like, come here, we're going to make you bring a dead guy back to life, just like you always wanted for the rest of the movie when we paid you for it. And she's like, no! And she tries to stab him, but then she doesn't. And then Frankenstein has a meeting with the goblins, and they don't like him for something.
They're mad at him.
Yeah,
they try to kill him.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. That should not happen. Like
we're forgetting this movie constantly, just talking about it. Like at the same rate we're talking about it, we're forgetting about every scene that we talk about.
Yeah, well, I feel like this movie made me have like no sense of object permanence.
Who am I, Ben? You have to name me.
You shall be Barry.
Barry.
All right, very good, Larry.
I have no sense of personal identity now.
No, but seriously, from scene to scene, I'm consistently struggling to remember what happened. And so it's like, oh right, there was another scene in this movie. I thought that was the only scene in the universe.
So yeah, he's forcing her now to reanimate people.
Yeah, so they capture her. She's gonna reanimate him.
And she flips the huge Tesla switch.
And he's like, it's working, I won!
he has a Watchmen moment where he's like, yes, I won!
and like, you
I did it!
You zoom in on the bodies, and you get like a little counter for how long it's gonna take to bring them back to life.
Yeah, there's a little like 0% reanimated, 2% reanimated. How do you measure that?
I don't know.
When did they build these? Also, he says he's been collecting bodies for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Has he had these crusty old things hanging there for hundreds of years?
I guess so. Like, how did he keep them?
How
so
did he preserve
fresh?
them?
Yeah, I know. I guess he put them in like these chambers. So my guess is that they're gonna be. He preserved them kind of like mummies or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So they'll at least be in okay condition. But here's the thing: once they come back to life, aren't they just gonna be really like decrepit and like it's like, oh no, air hasn't touched me for thousands of years.
Yeah.
Oh!
It's about now that we start to learn about like the full extent of his plan.
Yeah.
Which he wants to use Frankenstein's technology to reanimate the dead bodies he's been collecting.
Right.
But because they're resurrected, they won't have souls.
Right.
Because God didn't make them.
Right.
So that way demons can possess them.
Right.
Why can't demons... So they have to be reanimated, then demons have to possess them.
And they can't have a soul.
So a demon can't possess like a dead body and animate it that way? Like what's animating him? Like there's like a conflict. I do conflict in parentheses because it's not really a conflict in the movie, but throughout the movie they're like, oh, Frankenstein, you don't have a soul. They're really rubbing it in his face. Like, ha, you don't have a soul, asshole. And he's like, thanks guys for rubbing it in my face.
I'm not a human. I'm not a carrot.
But like what's giving him his intelligence and his personality?
Well, intelligence, I think, is the brain thing. But yeah, what is giving him his personality?
Yeah, but like he has feelings.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that a soul?
I think so.
You have as many answers for me as the movie does. Give me some answers, Ben.
How am I supposed to give you answers when this movie gives me none of them? How did the demons come into being in the first place? Like, if they need a body with no soul to possess, like, I guess the only thing that they could have done was, like, some guy was like, I'd sell my soul for this bacon, and, like, they showed me we would. But then how did the first one show up? I guess Satan was like...
Well, like, you know how when they kill the demons, like, they go to hell?
Yeah.
I think the idea is that they're trying to bring back the demons that the gargoyles killed. Like, God and the devil started from the same point with the same amount of demons and
the same
gargoyles.
And they had a
from
bet.
square one.
They had a bet with each other.
And they had a bet that they would use that same amount for the battle. And the demons are running low, so they're going to cheat and use a loophole of bringing the demons back in spirit but not in flesh.
Then they're reanimating the body, and then, like, the gargoyles, like, start following Aaron Eckhart, and he's like, he leads them to the bad guy's home base.
Yeah, the whole movie, they're like, Where's Bill Nye? We don't know where he is. We need to find where he is.
He doesn't have a clearly marked location like we do. We can't just run head on at his facilities.
But his headquarters is in walking distance from theirs.
Yeah.
And I think we're to assume that he's been using the same headquarters for as long as they have, for like the past hundreds of years. Yeah. So they've been warring this war like across the street from each other, basically.
Yeah, what a bunch of fucking morons.
What idiots. Like as the demons are retreating, they never once went, okay, let's follow them to where they're going, and then we'll know where they are. So
he leads them to the hideout, and they're like, he found it!
Oh,
he
no.
led us to them! And then the lady gargoyle was like, we did it! We won!
I did it! I saved the world!
So
I'm Ozymandias!
So then Frankenstein confronts Bill Nye, who then becomes CGI Nye. So CG Nye.
He looks like a Clive Barker monster, if you know what I mean. He looks like he's from what's that movie?
Nine.
Look it up. Edit all this out while I look this up.
What are you looking up?
The name of this movie with a bunch of silly things. Nightbreed. Bill Nighy turns into this Nightbreed looking guy. He's pretty goofy.
Wow, Ty, how'd you come up with that so quickly?
I remembered it because I watched it like a few weeks ago.
Wow, that is amazing. I usually don't remember anything because I have no sense of object permanence.
Because we're the only podcast in the world, in the universe.
So Frankenstein wants to save mankind for some reason?
He never really went through an arc.
Yeah. He's like, well, like, there's one part where he's like, I've never had to thank a human before.
Yeah, because Blondie helps him out.
Yeah.
And she's checking out his Frankenbod.
Yeah, his Frankenbod.
He's toned.
Yeah, dude. Aaron Eckhart's a pretty sweet looking dude. So Prince Nibirius starts possessing all the bodies, and then he's like, I'm gonna make you a possessed person too, Frankenstein. And so like he starts drawing the star on his head in blood, and like and start chanting the ancient tomes of
Clive Barker.
of the devil himself.
He starts reading from Nightbreed the novel.
So then like this like whole cloud and everything appears around Frankenstein, but then like he like drops him. He's like, well, thank you for joining me, my brother. And like he's like, I'm not your brother. I'm not anybody.
He wakes up and he's like,
myself.
I'm not your pal, buddy.
I'm not a watermelon. I'm not a carrot.
I'm not Sasquatch. I'm not a woman.
I'm not a bear. So then the guy's like, no! And then he cuts like the symbol that's appeared throughout the movie on his chest. And
the gargoyle cross.
Yeah, the gargoyle cross.
I'm gonna get one of those, and people are being like, what religion are you? Order of the Gargoyles.
Yeah, well, you know how you want to collect all like the famous paintings from different movies, like like the Ghostbusters painting and like, you know, all the different ones.
Yeah.
So you should get the drawing of Frankenstein's face in this movie and frame it.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So then he this guy like blows up and destroys his own facility, just like every movie villain in ever.
Wait, but okay, all the demons explode into fire when you kill them. He explodes into a giant ball of fire.
Yeah.
And Frankenstein's, oh my god, no, it's so much fire.
Yeah.
Ah!
He's like, fire, but also I won.
I saved the world.
The whole thing is destroyed, and like you look down into this giant pit, it just went straight to hell. Like it's just like no one ever like knows there's a giant pit down there.
It's at this point I stopped caring and I stopped writing notes.
Yeah, well, look at this. This is like Portal to Hell, Batman.
What do you mean by Batman?
No, you'll see. You'll see.
Okay.
All right. So
explain yourself.
All right. So then like the day is saved. The gargoyles are like, hey, you're all right. And then we get one more final monologue, and now for a dramatic reading.
We do not ask for the lives we are given, Adam narrated. But each of us has the right to defend that life. I have fought to defend mine. Adam stood on a rooftop as he narrated. And when the forces of darkness return, you shall know that I am out there, fighting to defend yours. I, descender of the demon horde. I, my father's son. I, Frankenstein.
So, there it is. Frankenstein, I Frankenstein.
I frickin' frack.
So, what'd you think of the movie? What'd you give this movie?
Out of what?
Out of 9.
Out of 5?
Out of 9.
Out of 9?
Yeah, out of 9. Out of 9 stars. Out of 9 badgers, how many badgers would you give this movie?
I'm not complying with your lunacy. We're doing this out of 5.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd give it 2 out of 5.
2 out of 5?
Yeah.
Why 2?
Because it didn't make me mad.
Made me a little bit mad. Dude, alright, on a scale of 19 badgers, I'd give this -8 badgers.
Yeah.
Figure that out.
It's definitely the worst movie we've watched so far.
Also, this is the first movie that we've watched where we had not seen the movie before.
Yeah, where neither of us have seen it.
Yeah, neither of us had seen this movie. So, Ty, I have a question.
Yeah.
Are you gonna rewrite this movie? Or are you gonna write a sequel for it? Like, did you like it?
No, I didn't like it at all. I'm definitely gonna rewrite this, and my version's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, well, I'm going to write a sequel because this movie was great.
Oh, really? You're gonna Ben? I'm gonna do I Frankenstein too.
No.
You know what, Ben? No, you have to. I want to see what you write. You have to now. Please.
You know what? I kind of actually do. I might actually go with writing a sequel because now I do the vigilante justice stuff that he didn't do in this movie.
Awesome.
What?
Just we're both using like awful puns with the title.
You weren't supposed to know about it.
It's kind of unavoidable though.
Alright, so now it's the segment where we rewrite the movie and make it 100% better.
Yeah, absolutely better. Not even 100% better, 200% better.
Indefinitely better.
Yeah.
All right, Ty, would you like to start?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think you've gone first the last 2 times we've done this.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right. Here I go.
Okay.
My movie's called I'm Frankenstein. Or the postmodern Prometheus.
Whoa.
I think I already made that joke, but here it is again. Open on a dark, foggy European wildland. In a farmhouse, a young girl awakens to a mysterious noise outside. The noise of heavy footsteps. She dismisses it initially as a bear or her father and tries again to sleep.
What? A bear or a dad? One of the
He's a
other.
big guy. He's a big guy. With the boots on? Carrying like a sack of potatoes? I don't know. That's pretty close.
I don't know. Just the image of her being like, it's either a bear or my dad. It was funny to me.
That is pretty funny.
Go
She
ahead.
said that aloud.
She said that out loud? So it's either a bear or my dad. I'm going back to bed now. Sleep.
I just edited it, and then she said, I sleep now.
Perfect.
But she awakens again to a goat crying out in terror. She peeks out her window to see nothing. She sneaks out her room and out the front door to peek outside and try and spot whatever's out there. She sees a hulking, giant shadow carry several goats away by the neck in its powerful hands. She hears a click behind her and turns around to see her father with a cocked rifle aimed at the thing. It turns around and waves as if to acknowledge them and lumbers off into the woods. "What was that, Papa?" she asks. He replies, "It was a monster, my little one. I thought the world was rid of these things, but deep in the untamed lands they dwell still." She looks down and sees a note left on the porch. She opens it and it reads, "I owe you." In that dark and foggy forest, the hulking shadow walks into a dimly lit cabin. The light of the fire reveals its patchwork skin, horrible scars, and sickly complexion. He stands at 7.5 feet tall and wears clothes made from goat hides. He hangs his goats on a hook by the fire. He puts on a poppy record of classical symphonies and cleans his kill. After preparing his meal and brewing some tea, he puts on a cracked pair of sophisticated-looking reading glasses and resumes reading a musty copy of Wuthering Heights.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He sighs, "Oh, Heathcliff, you dashing rogue."
What? Oh no.
Begin narration. "Well, this is me. I'm Frankenstein. Despite what people say, I'm not that bad of a guy. Sure, I have a dark past, killed a few people, terrorized the countryside. My father even chased me to the ends of the earth for it. Boy, am I ready to put that behind me." Montage of Frankenstein watching The Little Mermaid on VHS.
Oh, what?
He knows all the words.
Oh no.
Reading sappy romance novels and painting landscapes. If you're wondering how he's using a VCR in the middle of the forest, he powers it through a complex network of potato batteries.
What?
Yes. It's hard to tell who you were meant to be when you're made of a dozen different people. Deep down, I just want to go out into the world and show everyone who I'm made of.
What?
But the world wasn't ready for me then, and it sure as heck isn't ready for me now.
Whoa, this is getting a little bit strong language there.
I don't know how long I've been out here by myself. A decade? 30 decades? I just hope that one day I'll meet someone who accepts me for me. Not the sum of many, but as a person who is one whole. Early in the morning, he hears a loud rumbling sound outside that begins to shake the interior of his home like an earthquake. That's strange. An earthquake in Eastern Europe, he says aloud to his pet cat Peter. He goes outside to find a bulldozer is dozing down his garden.
What?
He runs over to a nearby construction worker who tells him that this land was recently bought up by a developer, and since he's a vagrant, his home is being demolished. As the machine is moving onto his house, F. Stein dashes in and rescues his cat, whatever other possessions he can save in a bundle made from his bedsheets. After failing to get some sort of compensation for having his house destroyed, F. Stein snaps. He turns over the bulldozer, assumedly killing the driver, and strangles the construction worker to death.
Oh.
He staggers through the woods and finds an empty tree stump to sleep in. As night rolls by, he awakens by a glaring light. He looks onward into a recently constructed parking lot and shopping mall. In amazement of this strange new thing, he walks towards it. Inside, he's in shock and awe of the PlayStation 4. Super HD 3D curved flat screen televisions, vacuum cleaners, and all the amazing new technology of the 21st century.
Just the first thing that he saw, PlayStation 4.
Yeah, he wants to play The Witcher.
I'm pretty sure the last thing that he actually knew about was the trading cards that Nintendo made. So, PlayStation 4. I didn't know there was a PlayStation 1.
Yeah, that's the last thing he knew about video games. The building's manager, a serious, practical-looking woman with black hair and red lips named Mary, assumes F. Stein to be a vagrant and approaches him to escort him out. She is frightened at first by his horrible visage and gets security to detain him. After they conclude that he is in fact not a monster, but just terribly disfigured, she apologizes and gets over his appearance. They get to talking, and she finds that he's really a sensitive and lovely guy. After kicking it off so well, she offers to take him to dinner as a way of apologizing. F. Stein wanders into the city of Prague for the first time in 300 years. Being the fish out of water that he is, or time more like it, he wanders into oncoming traffic. He is pulled out of the way by a familiar face, Igor.
What?
Now I need to explain something.
Yes.
Everyone thinks it's Igor.
Uh-huh.
It's not. It's Igor. We get this character from the movie Son of Frankenstein. And I'm about to explain what he's like in that movie right now.
Okay.
So this movie's partially in canon with the Universal films and partially in canon with the book.
So it's got one foot in both sides?
Yeah.
All right.
So the way this canon works is the events of the book happen, and then around the 30s, the events of the movies happen.
Okay. Fair enough.
Loosely connected.
All right.
In the 1940s, one of Victor Frankenstein's descendants attempted to resurrect the monster, as they are prone to do. One of his experiments was resurrecting a blacksmith who was hanged to use as an assistant. That was Igor. Igor had attempted back then to use Dr. Frankenstein's technology to switch minds with the creature to trade his own gimpish body for F. Stein's powerful one. Igor apologizes for the incident, and the two agree no hard feelings. The two catch up at a local coffee shop, whose patrons are disturbed by the two, to say the least. Igor is currently running a cell phone kiosk. Despite all of the strange and amazing things in the world now, all F. Stein can think about is seeing Mary again. Igor discourages him, saying that the living can truly never love the dead as the living. F. Stein gets ready for his dinner with Mary. Reluctantly, Igor helps F. Stein find a nice outfit for his dinner in the form of trying on clothes in a montage set to I'm coming out, I want the world to know. So it's that thing where, like, Frankenstein is, like, trying on different things, and then Igor's all like,
oh my god, do you want to explain the gesture that you just did?
oh, yeah, thumbs up, thumbs down. Sometimes I forget, I'm like, I'm just talking to Ben.
This is radio, Ty.
Also, just so you get his appearance better, Igor has a broken neck.
Mm-hmm.
So his neck is always sort of slanted over onto his shoulder.
So they're at Forever 21, just...
Yeah.
This is perfect.
After picking out a smart-looking turtleneck and a sports jacket combo... you totally just pictured that, right?
Yeah.
Epstein realizes he has no money and strangles the store clerk to death.
Oh my god.
It so happens you just can't kill Ben. At the dinner, shenanigans ensue as Epstein discovers his love of French food for the first time. The snooty waiter, played by Bruce Campbell, brings out one of those flaming cake things you see in fancy restaurants. This violently surprises Epstein, but he quickly calms himself. He explains that at a young age he was tormented with fire, and although he has learned since that fire is in fact not bad, it still can frighten him to this day. Though the whole restaurant is disgusted by his disfigured appearance and lack of table manners, Mary's enthralled by him because of their common interest in romance novels. He tells her about his tragic past, though not completely explaining that he is a reanimated corpse or that he is 300 years old. She relates to his story of being an outsider because as a child, she had terrible acne, leg braces, and a dental headset and was ostracized because of that. She tells Epstein that she only works at the mall because her mother is the CEO of the company and wants to help her daughter up the corporate ladder. Her true passion is to run a dog fashion boutique / custom cupcake bakery because this is a romantic comedy.
I hope they both turn to the screen and say that. This is a romantic comedy. And then Frankenstein turns into an eagle.
Like, unofficial part of all my scripts. Like, really.
Someone turns into an eagle.
It happened in Man of Steel, too.
Yeah. Superman turned into an eagle?
Yeah.
Superman Eagle.
Super Eagle. Mary finds out that Epstein has nowhere to stay. She says she would let him crash at her place, but her overprotective boyfriend would disapprove. He decides to stay at Igor's place, which is the now in ruins Castle Frankenstein.
Oh no, did Frankenstein just get friend-zoned?
You'll see. It's because she has a boyfriend already, Ben.
But I already have a boyfriend. Oh, fire bad.
Mary gives Epstein a job at the mall. She twists the mall's equal opportunity policy to qualify his disfigurement as some sort of disability to hire him despite his lack of formal education or experience. More shenanigans ensue as he freaks out customers and gets into hijinks with his co-workers, Seth Rogen, James Franco, and Michael Cera, or something like that.
This is like so many different good ideas in one.
One day at work, an investigator named Chad Helsing questions Epstein about a murder involving a store clerk who was strangled to death. As they are talking, Mary approaches and it turns out Chad Helsing is her overprotective boyfriend.
Oh no!
Epstein asks his co-workers about Chad, and it turns out he's a privileged douche who comes from a respected family because apparently one of his ancestors was a monster hunter who slayed Dracula.
Ooh.
So that's what happened to old Drac, he replies. Igor tries to warn Epstein that the Helsing family's bad news for creepy guys like them, and that it would be in their best, and that it would be the best for them to return to hiding. Epstein refuses, proclaiming that he is tired of living alone and that he will win Mary's heart or die trying. At the old farmhouse from the beginning of the movie, we see Chad questioning the girl and her father. He ventures farther into the woods using hunting dogs to find the ruined former home of Epstein and the bodies of the men that he killed. Epstein has the brilliant idea of having an annual corporate Halloween event in his castle hideout. Igor opposes at first, but literally unable to remember the last time he had fun, Igor decides it's a great idea. Before going to bed that night, Epstein talks to a portrait of his creator, Victor Frankenstein. saying that although they have had their differences in the past, and he did murder several members of his family, he was going to be proud of him because he finally found his purpose, to make Mary his bride and to open that pet clothing / cupcake store and to add a bookstore element with her. Because he loves books.
Alright.
Cut to fun montage of Epstein, Igor, and his friends from work decorating the party. The party ends up being a big hit. Epstein goes as Dracula. For a dancing contest, Epstein has a big romantic dance number with Mary set to Monster Mash.
Oh my god.
When they finish the dance, everyone can see their intense chemistry. As the two are about to be awarded the prize for Best Couples Dance, the party is interrupted by Chad Helsing, who enters the party clapping like a villain. Using a lighter, Chad frightens Epstein into strangling him. The local authorities rush in to apprehend Epstein with chains and braces.
Oh no!
Rubbing his neck, Chad proclaims that Epstein is the very same Frankenstein's monster of old, and that the string of recent stranglings has been his fault. The crowd collectively gasps like in a sitcom. Mary asks dramatically, "Is this true?" And Epstein tearfully replies, "Yes." He's taken away by the authorities and chained in a dungeon like in that movie. You know,
that one.
Frankenstein. At the mall, Mary is visibly heartbroken by the events that transpired the night before. Not one to take bullshit, Seth Rogen goes up to her and says, "What are you doing, Mary?" This is my Seth Rogen voice. I'm just making my voice a little bit deeper. I can't do the voice. She replies, "What do you mean?" He says, "We all saw what happened up there, Mary. I'm not talking about what happened when Chad and his dicks busted in. I'm talking about when you and Epstein were dancing. We all saw it. He loves you, Mary, and you obviously love him back." I know you're right, Seth Rogen. But what am I to do? Just a little while ago, I was getting ready to inherit my mother's company, and I was dating the most eligible bachelor in town. Now I'm in love with a 300-year-old reanimated corpse who is a convicted murderer. I'll tell you what you do. You go to him. He needs you. With the help of Seth Rogen and the others, Mary leads a daring breakout and helps Epstein escape. The two separated lovers admit their love for each other and attempt to escape back to Castle Frankenstein. When Chad Helsing gets word of this, he decks himself out with his heirloom monster hunting gear and gives chase. At the castle, the two have an epic battle through the crumbling ruins. Chad loads his flintlock with a silver bullet and fires at Epstein, but Mary takes the bullet for him and dies.
Oh, what?
In his rage, Epstein strangles Chad to death. Epstein, Igor, and Seth and pals all mourn her loss. With her gone, and the rest of the authorities on their way, all seems lost. Igor suddenly remembers that the equipment used by Victor Frankenstein was still in the basement of the castle. After giving it a few tweaks, they manage to resurrect Mary. The two are united once again, but the matter still remains with the authorities. Epstein has an idea to have Igor switch bodies with Chad. As the authorities arrive, Chad, in the body of Igor, comes into consciousness and yells out to his reinforcements that they are still in the building. Get them! Right as he finishes shouting this, the equipment at the bottom of the castle begins to override and the whole castle explodes. A couple of miles away, the group is safe and sound, as they have evacuated the building and set the machine to explode, leaving Chad in there to give the authorities the false information before dying. The authorities, believing that all inside have perished, return to the city with no one to arrest. Having faked their deaths, the group escape to Hawaii together. Igor gets to live in Chad's awesome body. Seth and pals are free to chill in the beautiful island paradise, and now work at the pet clothing / cupcake / bookstore that Epstein and Mary have opened together. The movie ends at a luau where Epstein and Mary watch the sunset. She turns to him and says, "We belong dead."
Perfect.
They kiss. The song "Got to Be Real" plays, and everyone starts dancing. Roll credits. Da-na-na-na, 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 bam, bum, 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 Finn.
I was waiting for that. Dude, awesome story.
Thank you.
That was a million times better than the movie that we watched.
I know. I really wish it was real now.
There's sick references to all the Frankenstein fans, and it's postmodern as fuck. It's great. Made me happy.
Thank you. Out of 5, what would you give it?
Out of 5, I would give it a 10 out of 5.
That's what I thought. This segment of the show is also called Patting Ourselves on the Back. Alright, Ben. I guess you should go on with your story.
Alright, so my story is called My Frankenstein.
I love that we both had to make puns out of the awful title.
Alright, so this is the first time we've ever done this on the show, but I'm writing a sequel to the movie that we just watched.
Which is unprecedented.
Yeah,
I'm seriously interested to see what you have to say.
Mine is set a little bit after the events of the original movie.
Like a few days, a few years?
Few years.
Few years.
So, and there are no gargoyles or ghouls in this one.
Good.
Instead...
What about demons?
Demons, in a way, yes.
Alright.
Alright, so, we open on a young woman who's named Mina Harker.
Oh! Oh my god!
I just grabbed his mouth. It was amazing. Mina Harker has been having night traumas for the last few weeks. Her husband, Jonathan, has mysteriously disappeared, and she's been caught wandering off alone by her caretaker. An expert, Van Helsing, is brought in to examine her situation, which he realizes is a vampire scourge.
And his son, Chad Helsing.
His son, Chad Helsing.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
So this is now? This is modern day?
This is modern day.
Okay, so you're retconning
Yeah.
the Dracula story.
Yeah. Van Helsing finds out that the best course of action should be to hire protection. Through a series of coincidences, he meets and hires Adam.
Adam Frankenstein?
Adam Frankenstein to carry out the deed. So he had heard about Frankenstein's victory over the evil devil monsters.
Oh, he knows about that?
Yeah, well, because he's a well-learned guy. I'm basing him a lot off of the book version, where he just knows a lot about weird things that goes on.
He's in the loop with all the other spooks around.
Exactly. So Adam watches Mina through the night. Like they talk and have a quick meet, and then he sits outside of her room and watches over her during the night.
Oh, wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is he still with that lady scientist?
No, that's over.
What happened to her?
She died. She fell off a cliff.
Did that happen in the movie or?
No.
I don't remember.
This is something that I made up.
Oh, okay.
She.
I mean, do you get to that later in the?
No, I don't deal with her at all.
Explain it.
No, she falls off a cliff, and she's like, I regret nothing, and then Frankenstein's like, no. And
he's like, this is the most awful death in the universe.
and then he found out that there are more than one thing in the universe. So Adam watches Mina through the night and finds a vampire named Celine, who is a vampire from Underworld.
You're freaking blowing my mind right now. Keep going.
Is the cause of the problems. He fends her off and recommends they find a safer place to live. So Mina, Adam, and Van Helsing make their way to central London and set up shop. There, Van Helsing realizes that Mina is slowly turning into a vampire and that he must find a way to stop this process. Adam and Mina have been getting closer and becoming Jesus shit. They both become an eagle. Adam and Mina have been getting closer and becoming romantically connected. And this hurts him. She's turning into a vampire. Oh no.
Oh no.
Fire, bad. Fire in Frankenstein's heart, bad. Van Helsing finds a ritual to exorcise the vampire from her. However, the process is interrupted by a werewolf breaking in and biting Van Helsing. Adam fends off the werewolf and rushes to help Van Helsing work on an antidote to prevent his eventual transformation. So, he's, slowly, transforming, but, he's like, no, you put this into this and this into this. And then he drinks it, and then he's for the most part, normal, right? So they need to find a holy landmark to add protection. So they break into an abandoned cathedral and set up shop there this time. Adam must perform the ceremony now that Van Helsing must recover. And so like they have to prepare for a couple days. But in this time, Mina finds out that Adam is the one that killed her husband, which explains his disappearance.
When did he kill Jonathan?
So Adam tries to explain, but Mina is too heartbroken to listen. She's like, and then Adam finally calms her down and explains that Jonathan had been hunting him down for sport after Adam had helped him escape Dracula's fortress. So the Dracula story is technically in canon. It just, the actual Dracula story hasn't happened yet. He's had the beginning of the story happen, but like the rest of it is kind of like now trailed off into its own thing. Anyway, so he had to kill Jonathan in self-defense because he like went insane from the whole trauma of the event. So he had to kill Jonathan in self-defense. But had he known his relation to Mina, he would have laid down his own life in order not to ever hurt her. They embrace and share a tender moment. So Frankenstein and Mina Harker are like getting it on.
Oh my.
Fuck yeah. After a few days of rest and recovery, they work together to perform this ceremony. But they are interrupted yet again by Celine, who has come to claim her prey. Mina, being controlled by Celine, attacks Adam and Van Helsing. Van Helsing transforms into a werewolf to fight off Celine.
Yes.
Together, Adam and Van Helsing defeat Celine. Helsing then turns on Adam and tries to attack, but Adam locks him in an enclosed space and doesn't let him out till morning when he is returned to normal. Adam and Mina wish Van Helsing well and go off together to live happily ever after. So Van Helsing from now on will just have to... He's a lot like Lupin in Harry Potter, where he has to take his medication every day to make sure he doesn't turn into a werewolf, so he's going to be fine. And they live off happily ever after, Frankenstein and Mina Harker. So,
Forever?
Forever. She's now a part vampire, werewolf, Frankenstein.
Like an underworld.
She is underworld.
Wow, Ben, that's freaking incredible. You're blowing my mind with all these crossovers. Can you please like somehow include the movie Van Helsing, like with Hugh Jackman?
Yeah. Well, Hugh Jackman was Van Helsing.
Oh my God, they're all there.
Yeah, everyone.
Oh, they're all there.
Yeah, and you notice a perceptible lack of gargoyles.
No gargoyles or demons.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's awesome.
All right, that was my story.
That was great, Ben. I loved it. It was a true monster mash, but I don't think Selena would act like that.
Probably not.
Or Celine.
Yeah, I don't know much.
I don't remember. You should watch that. Have you seen that first Underworld movie?
I haven't seen Underworld.
You should see it. It's pretty good, but she's a good guy.
Yeah, she was.
She's a good guy.
But she is a vampire, yeah? She's a vampire known as a death dealer. Right?
You know what, Ben? I don't even know. It's been so long since I've seen that movie, and all I can remember is the fight scene at the end. I don't remember any of the lore or if she actually, like, kills people. But yeah, you're right. She is a vampire.
Yeah.
So that would make Mina fair game.
Yeah. All right, so that's our story segment. What movie are we doing next week, Ty?
I wanted the audience to get that one.
Okay.
Dracula Untold.
Oh no!
Boy.
Do you think this movie will have any connection whatsoever to I, Frankenstein?
No.
Will it have any connection to my Frankenstein?
We'll see. Stay tuned.
Will he suddenly pronounce I'm Dracula at some point?
Perhaps we'll see I'm Dracula some point in the future. Dracula retold?
Dracula re-untold. So, next week, tune in to hear our review and rewrite of Dracula Untold. And so, you know, you should also subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to it on Facebook.
Subscribe to Facebook.
Do we have a Facebook?
No.
We should get that.
Yeah, we should get that. Just subscribe to our Pinterest.
Subscribe to our podcast, which is on iTunes.
Uh-huh.
And,
yeah, we're officially on iTunes.
yeah, we're on iTunes.
Yeah, but you can also find us on Podomatic. Like our Facebook page, The Revisionists at Facebook. Send us an email at therevisionistpodcast@gmail.com. And as I said before, feel free to send us in your own personal rewrites of this movie, because we'd love to hear from you. Send us whatever, but
Or just anything you have to say about the show.
Yeah, just if you want to tell us what you had for breakfast today, please, we want to know. So
hopefully it's Count Chocula.
Or Frankenberry.
Or Booberry.
Or Yummy Mummy.
Or Fruit Brute.
I thought we had run out of cereals.
We have not. Now we've run out.
I was about to ask, are there any more?
I think that's it.
All right, well, thanks again for listening. We wish you well. Tune in next time to The Revisionists Podcast at gmail.com //http://com.
Finn. One of the quotes in the IMDb is, "I am like no other."
Wow. 7 of 12 found this interesting.
Like this is the point where he's like, "Oh yes, so now you can bring back a real guy from the dead," and all these demon men in black Agent Smiths show up, and that should be raising all sorts of alarms for her. But she's the dumbest person in the. But she's the dumbest.